It's gonna get hot, and people gonna just enjoy it, like equatorial people have done for millennials before we came here. Summers didn't make people want to be like, oh, I'm gonna beat you up. The sun don't do that to you. The sun make me feel good every time. Am I lying? Oh, here you go, right here. Yeah, I'm not on my phone during the show. That's something I try not to do at all. People, remember when you go to convenings, turn your phone off. You know what I'm saying? I try to remember that a lot. I try to remind myself. It's very important. Turn your phone off. So this is PSA, Philly Service Announcement, Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support, Great Social Activism, Resources, and Art. I am the assist. African support and strength, inspiration and success together. Shout out to the Queen, Raw Cannon, all the cannons, my brother Mile, all my folks, all the black people. I love black people. We had a very eventful weekend. Shout out to all those brothers and sisters who put together the Malcolm X Day in Malcolm X Park. I just love being around black people, yo. We don't really gotta really just be doing that, just be chilling. Again, like we used to be chilling. You know what I'm saying? Before this whole experiment, this corrupt organization called America. But anyway, we're not gonna get on that. It was dope just seeing my people, Africans, Alki Bulanians, just moving around, enjoying each other's company, patronizing each other, talking to each other, building with each other, networking. You know what I'm saying? All love. You know, safe space created. You know, definitely shout out to Rakia, you know, for helping put together Justice for Who. It was dope. I appreciate. It's a lot of things that happened, and you would have to have a podcast for that to break down all the many things that happened with all the different people. But in the end of the day, it was very positive. It was an intergenerational conversation, something we need to be having a lot more of, with everybody being able to be empowered, young folks being able to explain to you how they are feeling, because we tend to ignore them for a variety of reasons. And it's a variety of reasons why. But a young lady, I think she was 14. I keep getting it mixed up which one actually said it, because they both said very profound things. But one of the either 14 or 10-year-olds said basically, what we drop, they pick up, because they have no other frame of reference. So whatever they see us doing, listening to, acting, however, they have no other frame of reference but you around them. And she was talking more about music. You know, she used music as the example. If this is all we're hearing, because we don't have anywhere to go get music until you show us how to go get music, and then we go get music that we hear you listening to. That's how it works. Even at 2-3 years old, when they learning how to mess with them tablets and all that, and you show them where to go and all that, whatever you got on there, the things that they start to look at more than anything else, they have their own little children things, but they want to see what you giving them, and what you sitting down watching with them, with you in the car driving with them. And we all, myself included, have to be more cognizant of that. Because I be dealing with music from the standpoint of, I be battling with myself, listening to a song by myself. Like, should I be listening to this? But I really like it, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, with all the information I have, should I be listening to it? And one of the things that I lean on is always, I am informed enough that it's not going to influence my life. But then we go to an even deeper level when we start talking about energy and frequencies and these being chants that you're doing. And we all know that this is what it can be if we understand it at that level, a certain level of indoctrination. It's like, damn, do you even want to be taking that energy in when it's not necessary, because you know better. You know what I mean? So the young lady, go ahead. Yeah. Uh-huh. No. No, that's a real thing, to, you know, allow yourself to eliminate stuff that don't feel good to you. That's okay. That for real, it's this story that they used to tell our ancestors. This religious Christian story of suffering here to get your reward in the here. At what? If y'all don't stop, I ain't telling you to be out here just doing whatever. Talk about, "Oh, we don't know if tomorrow's what." Like, don't play with me like that, all right? But there's a balance, Mayat, to everything. You should have a balance of, yes, living for today because this day is the day. It's it. But also knowing what the possibility is and planning for that as well. You can do two things at the same time. We do it a lot and we don't recognize it. But this young lady, the thing that stood out to me the most about the convening was what the young woman said. And there was a lot of really um extraordinary, profound, meaningful points made, and we are going to duplicate that. That's the biggest thing about it. We're going to duplicate it because we need to understand root causes in terms of harm. Who is a survivor? You know, I I tell people like, damn, those we be talking the thing about hurt people, but you really got to understand people's stories to see what the outcomes are and why they've done the things that they've done, why they thought processes made sense. So in that regard, in our community, I would say everybody is a survivor. Because we've all had so many multiple levels of trauma. And we don't even gotta get into all that. We don't gotta get into all that. But we all are survivors. And that's just what it is. And we can, whoever wants to like dissect the point, that would be dope. I would love to do that. I'm good with that. So again, the young lady said we need to be mindful of what we are giving them at all times. They are absorbing everything on every level. Smell, sight, feeling. We all talk about the energy, the energy. But I'm not gonna go too much further than that because we have a guest. I enjoy guests. I appreciate guests. Can you let everybody know who you are? Like, I usually ask the same 3 questions. You know, who are you? Because I'm big on identity. Uh, what is your resource? Because this is a resource show and reentry show. Resource, reentry, owned, operated by returning citizens. Until that language becomes something that's offensive to folks who are coming home from prison, and then we'll probably change it to something else. But as of right now, returning citizens, so owned, operated by returning citizens. So, who are you? And we want brick and mortar. My bad. Pull the joint up, though. My I apologize. So we usually ask, who are you? What is your resource, and why do you do what you do? So tell me, who are you? Brick, mortar, social media.
Okay, so my name is Brittany, and by day I'm a human resources professional. And then I also have a catering company called Saffron Soul and a spiritual wellness business called Sage and Ish.
Yeah, go ahead. You was about to say something else?
It also, I'm a spiritual life coach as well.
So, what do you do? What does the catering, Saffron Soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Sage and
Ish.
Ish. What does that incorporate? Like, what is it? What are the services that you provide out of that?
So for Saffron Soul, I do any type of event, whether it's like a birthday party, a wedding, um, private dinners. I also specialize in vegan food as well. And then with Sage and Ish, it's a spiritual wellness business. So it's homemade coconut soy candles, very organic. I sell different varieties of sage and crystals. And then it ties into the spiritual life coaching where I do meditation, mindfulness, life goals and setting and kind of understanding who you are spiritually.
So that would kind of. So what else you do? Do you do? I can't even get out. You also do a podcast.
Yes, I do. Every other Friday, me and my girl Elle at the Trap House on Instagram, we have a conversation about topics surrounding women that are kind of controversial, making women stand on accountability, and knowing the part that they play, and, the things that we do out here in terms of trauma, in terms of keeping stereotypes going, things of that nature. Right now, we kind of pivoted to doing a live book club, and we're reading Queen of Fua's Sacred Woman. And so it's kind of helping women kind of get in touch with their womb and do some wound healing so that they can understand that, for women, trauma in life start at the same point, and that's in our womb. And understanding how that plays a part in humanity and with self, and to begin healing, to be, better people out here.
So, what made you do the podcast?
My girl Elle reached out to me, said that, she was moved to start a podcast, and I was one of the first people she thought of based off of, spiritual beliefs and different ideals and, principles that I have in life, period.
She from Philly?
No, she's from Texas.
So how y'all do the podcast?
We do it live on Instagram every other Friday.
Oh, all right. So, but all right. Well, technology, social media. I think that's a positive outcome of social media. That's one of those. My daughter had posted a while ago. Social media is not like all bad. It's really like how you utilize it. Like, what are you looking up? What are you reading? What are you posting? Like, you can gear it towards whatever you want to gear it towards. You don't have to really watch and listen to anything or post anything you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? So you being influenced by like negative images is if you are cognizant of that though, right? Because I don't think a child, you know what I'm saying, or somebody, whose frontal lobe is not fully developed, understands the art of searching the web or being on social media, kind of like watching TV or the news. That's like a skill set. Otherwise, you'll believe whatever the programming is. You know what I mean? So I think that's a positive outcome of social media because y'all met on social media.
Definitely met on social media. I started following her. She came across my page based off of other pages I was following on, spiritual information, and was able to tap in. She's taught me a lot as well. Like she, we're the same age, but I see her as a spiritual mentor, in terms of helping me better learn parts of myself. And so we just kind of like really built a rapport. And got close. Like we've never met in person. This energy is just purely off of, alignment and us, having the same beliefs or, being able and willing to kind of learn from one another and, kind of be out here doing the work. Like those things kind of align on what we're out here, like the mission.
Right. What you consider your resource to be?
My resource is definitely the creator and spirit. Like I wouldn't be here without it, and spirit also includes like my ancestors, like everything I do out here, that's at the forefront for me, because of my relationship with them. And it took me a while. Everything that I resisted ended up being what I'm supposed to be out here doing in purpose and, to also become a better human out here. And so once I kind of like tapped in and really dug deep spiritually to find out who I was, kind of do, being spiritual doesn't just mean, changing your beliefs and you're doing crystals and sage and all this other kind of thing. You really got to do the inner work. You got to sit with yourself, especially the ugly parts, and kind of like figure out where you're the problem, because everyone plays a part in their own suffering. We choose our outcomes. And so it's kind of, unlearning a lot of bullshit, tapping into the truth, and, relearning in the right way. And all that has come through the creator. So that's my resource.
Oh, all right. Dang, that was I'm gonna have to get that back on loop. That was a nice little I'm gonna have to get that joint back on loop because I appreciate that. And I'll be coming at people about being spiritual.
I do too.
Talking about energy. That stuff be like, That listen, this is gonna sound a little crazy, but that it turned into like a boogeyman a little bit for a minute. Like I'm start talking about crystals. I'm like, oh, you're not gonna get me with that one again. Yeah, for real. Yo, listen, cause one of the places I land with this is all of that information is African.
Yes.
Alkebulantian. It was made at the base of the Nile, Mount Kilimanjaro. You know what I'm saying? So it blows my mind when I don't hear enough Maya. I don't hear enough Ankh theology. I don't hear enough Kemet Kush. I don't hear enough of that identity being attached to it. You know what I mean? And it make me feel when it's like you don't know enough about yourself for you to tell me you tapped in to be able to give me all of this other stuff. You know what I mean? For us, that's why I make the I say what I say about energy because we play with words and words become a thing and all that good stuff. But it's like it is a real thing. You know what I mean? But like so many other things, it gets commodified, it gets commercialized, and then now that kills value. And then you have people regurgitating stuff, parroting stuff, looking the part, but it's like you don't got no substance because it's no way you can tell me your African self, your Alkebulantian self, that you're telling me about crystals, numerology, astrology, meditation, mindfulness, all the frequencies, resonation, manifestation, laws of attraction, polarity. You know what I mean? Like you could just go on and on and on and on with the wording. The ancestors, universal source of power. You could go on and on and on with that, but I'm like, where is the Africanity in you? Where is the connection of you understanding those people that you're attached to that come from the base of the Nile?
Absolutely.
Where is your connection to that? Because if you don't have a connection to that in thought and idea and mindset perspective, you ain't tapped in. Like, stop.
I mean, and I say something that gets a little controversial, but it is what it is that spirituality came before religion. And if you really sit there and trace it back and go through the history, it's actually in the books if you read in between the lines and read the real stuff, not that shit that they try to pass off in school. But if you really sit there and uncover it, you understand where it came from. It came from Africa. This was what it was before it was anything else. And so you definitely have to understand who you are first and where the root came from. You gotta see the root before you can see the tree. And so you definitely have to understand that part of it and not go by this new age whitewash spirituality because that's not movement, where it is.
Insta spirituality. That's what you can call it. Instagram spirituality. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And it's funny because they created a virtual world for us to just play games with our minds and cause real mental illness in. You know what I mean? But so why do you do what you do?
So I do what I do because it's important. We all are here for a purpose. We chose to come here because we understood we could come back here and change humanity. And so no one here is without purpose. And if you don't understand what that is, your life, you lived it and did absolutely nothing. So that was lost. Your part to leave your mark on this world and change it is going now. And there you're leaving it for somebody else to kind of pick up the pieces where it's supposed to be like a joint effort. And so I do what I do because I'm very much, I want to see people win. You know what I mean? And definitely in our community, it's like a lot of lost souls running around because they don't understand who they are. They don't understand that it's a spiritual attack on us all. And that's where everything starts. Yes, there's wars and things that are going on, but that stuff is actually spiritual in a lot of different ways. And so I have been pretty much used as a vessel to be able to help people just remember the stuff that they forgot so that they can help themselves heal themselves. Like if it's just a kind word or if it's just like trying to change somebody's perspective on something to kind of look at it more positively than negatively, because gratitude is the simplest prayer, but it is impactful. Like everyone has something to be grateful for every day. And so remembering that and changing, your mind and how you think and being more optimistic and not pessimistic. You know what I mean? Like those things actually help you heal yourself. It helps you, get rid of disease, and it helps you, live a better life. It, changes the energy out here that no matter what you're going through, you can always show up and love. You can always show up in good energy so that can spread. Like if you're around somebody negative, you're going to pick that up. But if you're around positivity all the time, around good people, then it's going to be uplifting. And so that's why I do what I do.
That sound like to me like when I talk about what were we doing before we had this experiment happen to us? Like how were we dealing with each other day to day? Were we skeptical of each other? Were we pessimistic towards each other? Were we paranoid, cautious? Did you think like, let me make sure, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta make sure a person cool before you can come near him, before you can say hi to him, before you can, shake their hand, give them a hug, stand next to them and their kids somewhere. Like, ooh, why are you standing so close to me and my kids? Like it was a time when we wasn't like that. Like we really wasn't. People didn't run into people and be so, scared. You know what I'm saying? Or feel like you gotta be on defense. Or have a strategy for this person, like, all right, I know what I need in this moment. So how do I navigate this person to get what I need and get away before they try to do some fuck shit? Like, why do you have to have that going into all people? Because that's what it feels like sometimes. Do you feel like you can just meet people on their face without having no thought of this person going to do something negative to me? You? Yeah. Do you walk up? Never. What? Do you have any times where you meet people, you go up to people, or people come up to you, and you go in spaces where people are, and when you interact with people, you don't have that apprehension of, and that's for everybody, right? And what I'm saying is, do you realize it was a time when it wasn't like that? And do you know how much trauma that is to, not just saying you, but I'm, you sitting right here, and I did ask you that question, but not just saying you, but we all are being traumatized every time we try to figure out how to interact with people who look like us. We can't even get to other people and understand what that is to deal with them in the day-to-day and have relation with them as people of different races and cultures and ethnicities. We can't even get to that because they done shook our shit up so crazy that it's like every black person I come on like, what you might do, bro? I don't know. Come on, man. Give me a hug, man. We gonna try this shit. You're going into rooms like that? Are you? Who, me? Like that? Yeah. Not so much now. Now I'm more like, I kind of know y'all in here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm already prepared that I'm not gonna be around everybody in the room, but I'm gonna show genuine what's up to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all in here. I'm not going in the room like, fuck, I gotta figure out how to deal with these motherfuckers. Because that shit is traumatic, and I went through it. I had to go through it. When you find out that that's a thing, because people will make you think if you don't do it, something wrong with you. You better not be. I always say this, I'm going to continue to say this. I love to say this. It's nothing wrong with being nice. You just have to figure out who you're being nice to. But we make it like, that being nice shit, that's some nut ass shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's how they make you feel about being nice. Like, being nice, you a nut ass nigga. You nice? You is goofy out here. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Yeah.
I'm just trying to be nice though. I just gave the man some coffee.
Yo,
or choosing to be the bigger person. And people play with it in your face. So you like, if you really knew how close I was to like knocking all this shit over, like, but you don't want to have to live like that. Don't nobody want to be like that 24/7.
Traumatic.
One of my favorite things to say is I just want a regulated nervous system.
Yes,
like,
I stole that.
That is major for me. Like living in fight or flight mode ain't it. Like you gonna stay sick, you gonna be low vibrational, you gonna attract all that bullshit that your negative thinking was thinking of, right? Like, no, I don't want none of that. That's when you attract more narcissists. Because if you're an empath out here, you gonna attract them regardless. But knowing like get the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying? And like not giving access is important. Like that's why you gotta know who the fuck you are, because it's a lot going on out here, and what you can't do is be sitting there and attracting negative shit. So when you talk about encountering people and kind of side eyeing them, I don't do that no more. Like I used to really have deep rooted trust issues, but now I know enough about myself that wherever I'm going, I'm good, and I'm going to just attract what I'm supposed to attract. And you know, people will test you, and it's just like, no, you know what I mean? Like I am spiritual, but you are going to also get that. Don't fuck around and find out. Like, and that's just the energy that you have to portray, but you got to know how to do it. You know what I mean? You ain't got to be out here mean mugging, staring at people, talking all crazy. Like, no, your presence is going to be felt, and that's what you're going to attract.
Nah, I appreciate that, because I really start being like, yo, what the whole open book thing, like, what do I got to lose walking in this room and doing what I want to do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you have to be measured in certain ways with certain things with that are meaningful for you. But at the end of the day, it's like, I know my intent. I talk a lot about intent. I know my intent. So I can walk in here. I can walk in any room confidently. I don't gotta match your energy. I don't gotta do all that. I don't. And that's the funny thing about that trauma of every situation is like, I got sizes, boy. He might punch on me. I might punch on him. He might kick me. I might kick him. No, but it was a time that was my life.
What is it now?
Oh, now I move. You already know. I move how she said. I be moving around like I don't need it. And it do get to the point when you be like, I might need to get out. You know what I mean? I might need to do no, just chill. Regulate your nervous system. Get your nervous system regulated so you can make the right decisions. Because it really, yeah, I mean, it can get crazy out here. It really can, y'all. It can get crazy, and it can fuck with your thoughts. But I'm one of them people like you. Like I be moving around out here. Like I ain't do nothing to you.
Can you ask Zakia and how she operates like this? How she lives to hers in high school?
Oh, having a regulated nervous system?
And just the meeting people and...
Oh, yeah. So, for me, it's nothing wrong with being jovial or jocular. Which y'all would call Joe. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm very Joe. I love my people. I love meeting people. I love people being interested in me. I'm interested in them. I like learning new things. I like being able to build systems with people. So I always like to collaborate and meet people. And I think that's what we should always be doing. So in high school, I think that's the best place to do it. And, you know, you go to a school, you know. Do you like your school? Do you like Vaux? Do you like it? Do you like it? No? That's taking a long time. When is school over?
June 14th.
June 14th. And what is it looking like for Z? What is school looking like for Z? What are your grades looking like? That don't sound. Summer school, is summer school involved? No summer school. Okay. I like that. I'm proud of that. You know, I like that. I know you know some things went on, and that's something else I'm proud of. Some things went on, and you didn't use that as an excuse to be like, I ain't going to school, or I don't gotta be in school. And there was some serious things, you know. So I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Regular Z.
My daughter goes to Vaux.
Yes.
She's
What
in 11th
grade she
grade.
in?
11th.
What's her name?
Sydney.
What? Didn't it? Wasn't a girl y'all met like the? No, was that Building 21? All right, yeah. Because I was about to say, was that her? Because you know how life be. And be like, damn, that was the girl. Oh wow, that's crazy. But she's in the. Do you know anybody in 11th grade?
Now, what's your last name?
Wilson.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on.
She gonna kill me. She gonna kill me.
This is not kidding your mom. That's gonna be your baby. So she got you gotta tell her about Zakia. Now they got me.
Yep.
So now she go. Why not?
School about to be over.
Well, she said she knows some ninth graders. She knows some people, so I'm gonna ask her and see what she knows.
See, networking. Internship.
What's your internship?
Well, old people.
Mm-hmm.
What? Hold up. Time out. Time out. What was that?
To the older adult center across the street for kids.
Oh,
Okay.
so a little home health aid something type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What happened to cosmetology? What happened to that?
I'm gonna do that next year.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't get the shoot because I was.
You should. We gonna bring solar panels to Volks.
Mm-hmm.
Installing solar panels. You gonna do that? You gonna do it? Carlita did it. She got her certificate in installing solar panels.
You don't want to get it. You don't want to install something. I don't care. I know how to do that already.
But oh yeah, we also have to talk about. Can we talk about? No, we can't.
Oh hell no!
Ah man, it's not time yet, y'all. We gonna talk about it a lot.
No.
We're not gonna talk about it. We're not. It's cool. But we doing some things. It's some things coming together in life. Life is lifing.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a bad way, y'all. Look, got me salivating. That's crazy. Life. So like, I've been really happy and excited. I've been feeling like I've been a little overly excited the last maybe 2 months. You know what I'm saying? 2.5 months for real. So I'm trying to channel that in a real productive way, especially with my family. I'm mulling over some things. You know, they might not know I'm mulling because it'd be like I can't talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's a bad thing, but it'd be like I don't really be knowing what to say to y'all because I do. I be like that. I don't be knowing what to say. I just want to show y'all what's going on, and we do it like that because I don't be knowing what to say. I don't be wanting to talk, and I know it comes across like he don't love us. Nah, I love y'all dearly, but I don't be wanting to talk. I don't know what to say. I kind of be. I think I said this before. I kind of just be wanting to tell them like, listen, man, just support, and don't come with analysis paralysis by analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I'm telling y'all, let's get into it. Got to keep being, but you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? It got to keep being a roadblock of why we can't know. Let's just
Where is the
jump into
belief?
shit. Yes. Where's the belief? Is belief important?
Very.
Is belief important?
I'll get back to you on that.
Oh.
I'm having a. That's a really good question because I'm having a little conversation with myself about that because I don't necessarily like belief. I feel like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
My belief it gotta be a different word because, and I know like up until this point we kind of say like belief, but it's just like belief. I think is a different word.
Faith.
Not faith. Not faith.
What was
So
that?
do you think
What was that? I just said faith. Why you do that to me? What I do? How did you receive that real quick? Hold up. We getting a lot of timeouts today. Hold up. How was that received just now?
So I don't know, but I don't think it's belief. I think I would say trust. It's trust. On a certain
Okay.
I say trust. Okay.
Is it a certain level of belief in trust?
No, you have to have trust to believe.
What's up with you, brother? My brother Kimba. Yo, I finalized that situation today. I'll talk to you later, man. I appreciate that oop. You know what I'm saying? Respecting the brother's information and what he do out here, man. So definitely gonna make sure I represent in this endeavor. But we'll talk about it. But belief, trust. I mean, we could I think that at some point we definitely need to have some shows on that. I need to do like series on stuff. Like I was telling you about what I showed you what I wrote my paper on and everything. With the second trauma. Shout out to my brother Arande McLean. Hopefully I can get him back on the show again. He was on the show maybe like 3 times. You know, he's doing some really big things right now. But I think doing some series would work out.
I think that'd be nice.
You know what I mean?
It could be
It's a lot of non-verbal communication going on.
Extension.
Yeah. So speaking of that, speaking of series, speaking of pod, where is this? I've noticed that there's some podcasts that's just on a particular subject, and I be feeling like at a certain point that can lose steam
Mhm.
depending on how the culture shift is. So what do y'all want to do with it? Like, how do y'all want to open it up? Like, what is the different branch, if that's even a thought process right now?
Mhm.
What are the different things y'all want to do behind the podcast?
So again, it's geared towards spirituality, African spirituality as well, and then just women's accountability, and the role that they play as women, as mothers, as caretakers, as just people out here in this world. So, one of them had, something to deal with friends. Another one had something to do with, are you out here having a partner and because you might make more money than them that you're belittling them, not even needing a man and substituting it for something else. And again, like, we pivoted to do Sacred Woman because it was like, all right, where do your trauma start? You know what I mean? Like, do you understand your trauma? Do you know who you are as a woman? And so right now we kind of put all the other topics on hold so that we could focus on this because it's real intensive. It taps into my eye, like you always talk about, and understanding who you are and where you come from, as well as understanding your traumas and also healing from that. Because for women, it could show up in mental illness, having trauma associated with your womb. It can show up in tumors, fibroids, having to get hysterectomies, those types of disease as well. And, you want to get that off of you because at the end of the day, women are born with all the eggs that they'll ever have. Mm-hmm. So if you're living in trauma, those babies don't have it, stand a chance. That's generations upon generations, but this child is being born with your trauma attached to it. And so how does that show up? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This is unspoken trauma that, nobody gets to understand or know. And so it's like your role out here as a creator, as, being, a force out here, for humanity, is tapping into that and understanding who you are as a woman.
No, that's dope. People would think it is completely different, but that's kind of like what my brother be talking about as far as us being environmentalists, like being the first stalwarts of the planet. Like, our job has always been to take care of the planet. That's not something new that gets created by people and say, oh, these are the green people or these are the tree huggers. Like, we've always been tapped in to the environment and we just by nature, because it serves us. It is us. It's one and the same. So it's like you saying that as far as when you say like you walking around here as a creator. Like, I think that's really dope language that I would love to hear women saying again, because what I felt, what I've seen is like women hating that part of themselves. Mm-hmm. Is that too strong? Hate?
Yes.
Burden?
No. Burden.
Like that part of themselves, your reproductive organs. With, like she said, women understand that you're walking around, you're a creator. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I don't hear that. I don't hear that a lot. I don't hear women speaking of themselves in that light. Like, I'm a creator, and it's very simple. Like, it's not even this thing that it's a stretch. What is a creator? You bring forth life.
They don't know it though.
Right.
So what I said is saying that women have been orientated to hate their reproductive organs.
Yeah, some white women.
Yes.
A lot. Like, they be just so angry at themselves, and then like they just push it on us. Mm-hmm. Because what we was going through as Africans, it was like they indoctrinated us to hate ourselves as the white woman.
Feminist women. I said it yesterday. Yes.
Even now, the white women be white women.
Mm-hmm.
But at a very low level, it's not as blatant as it was before. Like,
right.
Now it's very subtle. You gotta get the subtlety. Like, even just walking down the street, like it's so subtle, and you just be like, oh damn, bitch. But if you walking down the street and like when they move their arm, I'm like, yeah, bitch, that's for Ida. That's for Ruby, bitch.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I listen, man. You already know. I always say this, like, y'all be thinking that they the we just lily white, we not gonna harm anybody. It's a white man. Like, no, she's the motivator. She stirred that shit up. I talk about confusion, and it ain't even no confusion. They got a plan. They got a plan on how they gonna make this thing work. But I was just trying to find out, because that's what I hear. That's what I hear about childbirth. That's what I hear about your period. That's what I hear about. It's like, just remove it, get rid of it. I don't want to have no more kids. Even the way we look at children, as this burden, because the process hasn't been done correctly, to an impossible. You know what I'm saying? Do you got that in the tuck? If you about to have a baby, do you got 2 in a possible? So that's including yourself. We would say the father, normalize that part. Just father. I ain't talking about no other role. Don't get all the other roles confused with him being a father. Let him be just father. So it's you, the father, not the husband, not the dude, not the man, the father. You feel what I'm saying? Or no? Y'all agree? No? All right. So you, the father, and it got to be somebody else. A girlfriend, a homie, one of his bros, grandma, my aunt. The more the merrier. But in order for this thing to work properly, so you don't lose your mind, he don't run the fuck away, because that's how it goes. He run the fuck away, because he's been allowed to run since slavery, because it was strategy at one point. And she sits there in it and loses her mind, as you said. So that's what they see their wounds producing.
And then you gotta factor in the torture tactics that have been brought on to us through slavery. And so for women, Black women, you have a hatred for it because of all the things that you went through. And, them, white people bringing that shit over here. You know what I mean? Like, rape culture wasn't a thing. And so as women, on a day-to-day basis, at nighttime, we're scared to go in certain spaces. But where did that come from? From predators. Where did that predatory behavior come from? White people. And so for women, that makes it even more deep trauma of always having to be on guard with something that you were born with. And it being used and abused in that way. Like, it's not honored. You know what I'm saying? It's not honored as a life source out of here, how everyone is birthed. Nobody sits there and has appreciation. And so, yeah, it gets a lot of scrutiny. It gets hated on. Nobody sits there and actually appreciates what having a vagina actually even means. So, yeah.
Nah, that's crazy, because that's a really profound point of the attack part of it. Like, this which is supposed to be so precious is really bringing me a lot of drama. Like, people are out here thinking that they can take it and they can use it and they can abuse it, and not like that is a point that has to be put out there as well. Not just the repercussions of not knowing how to be family and having children and the children being a burden because you can't do all the things you wanted to do, but then that other part of it, the violence that comes behind it because of people wanting it. And because it's crazy, because it is the same thing, but I thought you was gonna go more into being forced to have children. During the Ma'afa, during slavery, that whole being breeded as if you wasn't human, and being your value being very monetary because you can breed. You know what I'm saying? And that's those are more things like that are collective conscious things. That trauma that you say that sits in there with your children, that is passed on. So that's crazy, man. But listen, we are about to go play basketball, people. So can you tell people where they can find you, professional, your contract, what you do out in these streets, what's the mission? Like, tell people where they can find you, where they can check out your stuff, what you got going on real quick.
So for the catering company, it is on Instagram as Saffron, SAFFRON _SOULL. For spiritual wellness and, the spiritual life coach and meditation services, you can find that on Sage, SAGE _N _ish. And then you can follow my main page, which is BRI_TT_ANY32, where you can kind of see, all of the information for both my businesses as well as community engagement stuff that I do, youth circles that I do for women. When I do the podcast, it's called High Society Tea every other Friday. That's on the main page as well.
And you ain't say nothing about the HR. Like, do y'all have a lot of opportunities? I really just wanted to put that out there for that because I know you would be the one to know the opportunities that's out there.
So I do human resources for a nonprofit called Hopeful in West Philadelphia, and we have a lot of different opportunities from child care workers for our Barringhouse Crisis Nursery, as well as different shelters that we have throughout West Philly. And then we need case managers, things of that nature. So all our stuff is on Indeed. So if you just type in Hopeful, and it's spelled HOPEPHL, into Indeed, it'll list all our jobs, and I would be the person that you, after doing interviews, would meet with and get onboarded and stuff.
All right. So listen, man, this is PSA Philly Service Announcement. Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support Great Social Activism, Resources, and Art. That's what we doing out here. We out.